Good morning, class. Today we'll be doing a lesson on information leaflets. So if you can turn to page 126 of your workbook. Page 126 of your workbook. Then let's begin. So the information leaflet is something that we come across in our daily life, right? You receive an information leaflet as you are walking on the street, when a shop is trying to do an advertisement, or when you want to find out more about a program. If some of you in future are going to do braces, you go to the dentist, and instead of sitting there at length with the dentist to talk about your braces, you can just pick up a leaflet. So it is a very easy way to access information. And so this will be tested under your situational writing. It's quite straightforward. So I'll be talking about the basics of information leaflet, and then when I come back on Wednesday, we will be practicing the elaboration part of it. Okay, so for today, just focus on the structure and as well as the language. So what structure is required for your information leaflet? Like handbooks, they are an example of guides, right? And you give information, you give instruction on a certain topic or procedure. So structure-wise, you need to use headings and subheadings so that the reader can see the main points at a glance. You open up the leaflet and immediately you know what each section is talking about, and that is what the subheadings are for. For language-wise, of course, it has to be suitable for the audience. So for example, a guide aimed at children, right? If it is a guide talking about the petting zoo, or for example, a program for children, you want the language to be easy for children to understand, but also exciting and lively enough so that they will want to read it. So you don't just aim it at the parents, you also aim it at the age group that you are targeting. So it's very, very common when you are writing an information leaflet to use imperatives like go here, pay attention to. Very direct instructions so that the reader understands exactly what is it that you want them to do. Okay, so some types of information leaflets that we come across in our daily life. Medical information is definitely one, like I was talking about braces, or like if you wanted to do a medical procedure, the doctor will just give you a leaflet and say, okay, go home and read this, right? It's much easier that way. Tourist information, definitely, right? Because you go to, for example, like the Japan Tourism Board, and in that office you can just look at the travel guides, different parts of Japan, for example, and immediately, at a glance, looking at all these leaflets, you can make certain decisions very quickly. Educational programs, trips, product information, like for example, if you want to buy an iPad, I mean, of course you can Google it, but if you want to know more about the product itself, they can give you an information leaflet. So here's an example of an information leaflet. This one, obviously, with one glance, it is a kids program, and the audience definitely is children. How do you know? Because it's so colorful. So on page 127, some of the things that this leaflet is good at. All right, some of the important things I would like you to take note. Do note that each section has a heading that outlines the main topic of that part of the guide. So the subheadings are very short. It is not like 2-3 sentences, right? It is a phrase, in fact, and they are bold. So they draw the attention of the reader. The writer also uses personal pronouns. Now, remember your previous formal letter writing, formal email writing, I banned you from using you. In this information leaflet, in this situational writing, if you were to come across this situational writing, in your exams, you can use you and your directly addressing the reader. Of course, when it comes to situational writing, persuasive techniques is required because you want your reader to get excited about the fundraising, right? You want them to check out some of our famous friends' top party tunes, so you have that excitement, that tone involved. And of course, the things that are highlighted are things that you want your reader to know. So like the website address, and everything is just laid out very clearly so that your reader understands, how is it that you want them to get involved with this fundraising for the charity. Alright, so now let's look at this advertisement, another example. What would be your purpose? The audience, the context, the tone, your PACT. For situational, it's always very important to take note of your PACT. Now, in this situation, obviously your purpose would be to inform, right? To inform your readers about this product, Invisalign Teen. Given the name is Invisalign Teen, your audience are teens, right? Young adults. The context of it is that it is a clear alternative to conventional braces, okay? And usually when people wear braces, it comes with this whole stigma of it being unsightly, the wires and things like that. So you look geeky. And of course there's the pain of it because those brackets that you have when you put on your braces, it might cut your gums or it cuts your cheeks, and so that's why they talk about it being comfortable and invisible, right? So that's the context of it. And of course the tone is informative. It talks about your phone is wireless, your computer too, why aren't your braces? Welcome to the 21st century. So they are introducing things to you, they are informing you, raising awareness about this product, Invisalign. Okay, so that's your PACT. Now this leaflet is about the iPad, and the focus, obviously you can see very clearly at the top, is talking about how it is, and it has 2 amazing cameras. So some important things that we note here, other than our PACT, okay, the use of adjectives, advanced optics. So you don't just talk about the optics, you talked about it being advanced, the sensors being improved, that it has a powerful Apple design image signal processor. Then you talk about the new features, panorama, timeless video, slow-mo, a burst timer modes, okay? So because everything is focused related to the camera, alright, you talk about, because your heading is the camera, everything here should be related to the camera. And this is something very important because many times students, when they write the situational writing, they give me a header and then below a chunk of information that has nothing to do with the header, and that's where you obviously lose marks for your task fulfillment, right? So you need to do that. And how do we then elaborate? Remember, under our task fulfillment, elaboration is very, very important. You elaborate using adjectives. Okay, so you talk about the cameras, all the information related to the cameras, and then you add in adjectives to that information so that it sounds more persuasive. Okay, all right. So then, of course, we use emotive words as well. This one is about a child survivor program, so it's a fundraising program, and you want to convince using emotions, right? So each year 132 million babies are born and begin the journey of early childhood. Tragically, too many of these children are lost along the way. Precious little ones who do not receive the nutrition, care, protection, and learning opportunities necessary to survive and thrive. Compassion Child Survivor Program, run by our existing Christian church partners around the world, reaches out to young, vulnerable children. So the adjective used, okay, vulnerable children, to save their lives and set them on a path toward healthy development. Your contribution will help us extend this life-saving program. So you don't just talk about the program, you talk about it being life-saving. Vulnerable, tragically, these are all emotive adjectives. Okay, so very, very important to take note. All right. Okay, so the 3 advertisements. What is our PACT? The first one I've already talked about, to promote Invisalign, to highlight its advantages, to inform your audience, to raise awareness about, the advantages of wearing an Invisalign. The target audience are teens. For the iPad, the purpose is very clear, to promote the iPad. And in fact, I will add about the iPad's cameras. Okay. Audience will be consumers. Alright. For the compassion ad, it would be to get people to donate to that charity, to raise funds. And of course, you are targeting working adults